And I know those people. Gracias, Alfredo y Dalia, por la oportunidad de hablar aquí hoy. Yo hablo español perfectamente, ¿no? Pero necesita hablar en inglés para los otros. No, I'm very honored to be here today to address this audience and talk about the iron workers and their employers, which is literally boots on the ground in the United States and Canada and eventually elsewhere. The iron workers and their contractors formed IMPACT, the Iron Worker Management Progressive Action Cooperative Trust. IMPACT, good, nice ring to it now. Because they realized that we have to work together everywhere, every day, and cooperate on firm business footing. That's the only way we're going to move the ball down the field. So we realize that you're geared towards STEM here. But what the ironworkers and their contractors do is capitalize on that next gen education to build the most iconic structures literally in the world. And if you shoot a name of one of them out, including the Comcast building in Philadelphia, I will tell you that the ironworkers and their contractors were the boots on the ground that put those structures high in the air or low on the ground. And we're honored to have two real iron workers sitting right here in front of us. They're organizers from Local 5 here in Washington, so let's give them a break. So at this point in the presentation, you're sitting there saying, so what the hell is an iron worker? Right? Aren't most of you saying that to yourself? What's an iron worker? I see everybody bobbing their head. Who has seen that iconic picture from 1932 of the guy sitting on the beam in New York City eating lunch? Those guys are iron workers. They put the structures high in the air, they put the cladding on the building, they tie the rebar that supports the concrete all across the United States and Canada. So here's my second question to you. What's the difference between an iron worker and a Harvard MBA? Shout it out. The MBA don't know how to weld. And my friends, if you can weld, you can work anywhere in the world anytime you want. I tell you this because a lot of times in these United States and certainly throughout Canada, the idea of our young people, our young girls, and our young men going in and working with their hands at a skilled trade has somehow diminished their reputation. It's absurd. Let me share with you a quick story. A good friend of mine grew up in a home where they did not speak English. His parents were immigrants. And his first job, the day after he got out of high school, and he got out of high school by a razor-thin margin, he went to work in what we refer to as the rod patch, tying rebar, carrying rebar onto bridge decks and other places. It's back-breaking work. Fortunately for an iron worker, your first day on the job, you start working on your pension so that you're not eating dog food in retirement, and you start on your health and welfare program so that you can afford to go to the doctor when you're ill or send your family to the doctor. So Jimmy worked in the rod patch. He eventually became a structural iron worker, like those guys that had that lunch atop a skyscraper in 1932. But all the time he said, I really want to go into business. And he would take copious notes about everything they did and every aspect of the business. Let me fast forward to today. Jimmy owns two construction companies, a structural steel company and a precast company. Precast are those big panels that you see along I-66 or other highways around and byways around North America. The the structural steel is the actual infrastructure of the building. He also owns a bank. Not too bad. He's done work on the Notre Dame Stadium, those Catholics again, the Cleveland Browns Stadium, and many other structures in between. So here's what I'm trying to lay on you. A young man or woman, Latino or Latina, can go to work as an iron worker, and the career possibilities are literally staggering. They can do anything. At Impact, we take that person and we fund his or her apprenticeship. Now, if any of you live around here and you listen to the people out of the White House and the Department of Labor, they talk about apprenticeships like there's something new. Apprenticeships have been around in our organization for over 100 years. They take someone, train them while they're getting paid, and then give them a career in the construction industry. Let me ask the parents in this room that have sent their kids to college, probably $250,000 going to a state school, right? You send the kid and make him an iron worker, you got a $500,000 swing there because they're making money while they're being trained. Good friend of mine, his son bought his first house. Kid's 23. We welcome the military with open arms. We're partnered with an organization called Helmets to Hard Hats, where when these guys have come back from Iraq or Afghanistan and other far-flung places, and they're used to that cohesion, that support group that they've always had, instead of flinging them out into society and say, hey, good luck, we bring them in because we work in teams all the time. Very, very gratifying. And the opportunity for career advancement is incredible, because when that military veteran or that Latino or Latina decide they want to go into business, that's where Impact comes in. We give them the basic foundations and the business orthodoxy they need to be highly successful in a very, very competitive world. So we think of it as a cradle-to-grave approach. We capitalize on the fabulous economy that we're afforded in this day and age. It's not always this rosy, but we've been on a hell of a good run, and we hope it continues for a long time. And we hope to meet you. You know, we already do a lot of business with General Motors. Obviously, I mentioned Comcast. We want to be in every aspect. We love ExxonMobil. They give us many, many work opportunities. We could use more. I'll just wrap up by saying, you know, we want to embrace the Latino community. We're very, very happy we're here. I thank my colleague Joe Matos for getting us the opportunity to hook up with Alfredo and Dahlia and be in these spaces. This is not going to be the last time you see us, I guarantee that. I thank you very much, and I would be remiss if I didn't say otra vez. Gracias por la oportunidad de estar aquí con ustedes.